What's up guys, we're back with a brand new video. Today's video we'll be talking about Tom Mitchell is open to a trade out of Hawthorn. Now this might seem like a shock to a few of these Hawthorn fans around, but he said that he is wanting to go to a contender in Victoria. Now a contender in Victoria, and one of these top names he put in was Richmond. And now this is all sourced from Tom Morris. So if all these facts are wrong, go to Tom Morris. Don't go for my head. I'm no journalist. So yeah, so Richmond is probably is at the top of his list apparently, but he's wanting to go to a contender in Victoria. This made me think, what are some of the places we could see him go, and like in Victoria, and some of the names that put to my head is let's just think of there's 10 Victorian clubs he could possibly go to. Richmond is definitely one. Now let's just talk about him going to Richmond for a sec. How will this trade get done? We don't know. He's not out of contract, I don't think, at the end of the year, Tom Mitchell. I could be wrong though, but they'll probably have to give up maybe a young player or some draft picks to get the deal done, because obviously Tom Mitchell only wants to leave because, you know, let's just say Hawthorn are probably 4 to 5 years from probably being a top eight chance or a genuine top eight side. So he wants to leave, and in return, you would think that Hawthorn probably want, you know, a couple first round picks or a first round pick, because they will lose some value out of him. Even though he is a former Brownlow medalist, just because he actually is open to getting traded, and teams know that, and he probably wouldn't return. So you can probably give up at the most like a Jack Graham, even though Jack Graham's having an absolute brilliant season. But Tom Mitchell really does bring a different point to the Richmond midfield, because you could kind of think that they could kind of lack accumulator, and that's all that Tom Mitchell is. That's his number one strength. You know, gathering the ball, feeding it outside to other players. Because if you look at their midfield, you know, they got Cochin, who's, you know, just more of an impact player, really aggressive. Dusty's, you know, the X factor in there. Dion Prestia is probably their accumulator, if you'd have to say. But, you know, there's no better accumulator in the game than a Brownlow medalist named Tom Mitchell that will just work so well in their midfield. So it'll be interesting how they actually get this trade done. But I want to, you know, talk about some other teams that could possibly put their hand in the hat. Like maybe, you know, if Zach Merritt does leave Essendon, you could kind of, you know, throw the hat into the Tom Mitchell if they're wanting to contend sooner rather than later. But I'm not sure that's probably a good idea for Essendon, judging that that's just another small midfielder, and they have a lot of small midfielders in their midfield group, which probably won't help them too much. And, you know, they already have, you know, Darcy Parish, you know, McGrath, Merritt if he stays, Shield. That they probably don't need a player like Tom Mitchell. But another team that I think, if they actually are looking to contend, because we're kind of up in the air, is Carlton Football Club. Now apparently they try to, you know, ask the question of Hawthorn last off season about Tom Mitchell, and at the time Hawthorn, you know, kind of pushed it aside and said they were not looking to trade Tom Mitchell. But, you know, they'll be perfect. Someone to go along Walsh and, you know, Cripps. And they kind of do like a accumulator. You know, I feel like that, you know, Cripps is more the X factor. Walsh is just an impact player, runs all day, classy. So, you know, you have that down and under grunt player that probably the role's probably getting played by someone like an Ed Kerno right now at that club. So, yeah, they're kind of the contenders I'm thinking. Because if you think of teams like St Kilda, they already have enough. You know, they have Brad Crouch, that's an accumulator, and their team. And, you know, Tom Mitchell's not too fast, and Saints are really lacking, you know, fast midfielders, you would have to say. Melbourne, they probably don't need him, because Clayton Oliver pretty much already plays, you know, the Tom Mitchell role. The Bulldogs, their midfield's already completely stacked to the brim. Geelong, they could probably, you know, chuck their name in the hat, you would have to say, because, you know, if someone older is on the market, they'll certainly put, you know, their arm up. But I don't think that's probably a high possibility. Collingwood, I don't think Collingwood will actually pull the trigger on something like this, because I'm not sure if they would actually want to get an older midfielder in. because I'm not sure if they actually want to contend or how quick they want to go up. But if they want to do, like a Sydney rebuild they did, bring in some young talent, get some more trade assets, and then push back up the ladder. If Collingwood want to do that, I could see them going after Tom Mitchell. And then the last club is probably North Melbourne. And I don't think North Melbourne, they only want the youth to come through. They probably wouldn't go over there. So that's my opinions on what clubs he actually will go to. Drop in the comments below if you think what club he will go to, because I'm almost certain that he will leave. It's not like, a Bontempelli or a Cripps situation where it was up in the air and they were going to re-sign or not. But I feel like this one is almost probably an 80-20 if he's going to leave. So this will all play out in this is only at halfway through the season and we're already getting rumours like this, which is absolutely crazy. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.